You know, we oftentimes in this day and age, there's a lot of people really into the mystical bent of things. It's just exploded, right? Because of the end of the realm of inner truth, because the background frequency shifting, that doorway to inner truth being closed, not for everybody. Some of us will still have, of course, that in our genetic makeup, like me. If you've got a 61-2, great for you. Inner truth is part of your design. But the background frequency key, that door is closing. So a lot of times people say, you know, well, we live in an illusion. It's just an illusion. And that's only part of the story because we live in a binary. We have the things that we can see, and then there are the unseen. And just because it's unseen doesn't mean that it's unknowable. The seen is the realm of the collective, my friends. It's the realm of the experiential and the pattern recognition as we move towards the future, right? That's seen. It's 11 and 17. But when we look to the nature of our individual cosmic consciousness, now that those two may not seem to go together, individual cosmic consciousness, because cosmic consciousness is all that there is. Yet Ra makes a distinction between consciousness and awareness. So each of you are aware, otherwise you would not be here. Now, consciousness, according to Ra, these stars that we seek to see, and yet we cannot truly know them physically as if we were right there inside of their solar system. We are in our own. So at night, when we look up in the sky and we see all of those vast smatterings of stars, depending on where you live, obviously, you're not going to see as many if you live in the city. But when we look up at those stars, we are literally looking back in time. We are seeing and witness to cosmic consciousness. Now, you, me, everybody, we all have our own individual frequency. And each one of us have the capacity to source into our own frequency field and be aware of what is out there, which is truly inside. The only thing that is true is that we are here now. Correct? You are here right now. Aren't you here now? I'm here. Are you here? Thank you for being you. I'm being a little silly, but it's true. We are here right now. So come into this space and we'll see what comes out of you and me as we become aware of our particular individual cosmic consciousness, the data stream that is filtering through you, me, everybody, all the time. We have our own unique, differentiated perspective. So we live in that illusion, whether or not it's graspable. Ross says this is the great wonder of the revelation of human design. That is the revelation of what we are really doing. It is filtering a consciousness ocean. And this consciousness ocean that we are all being bombarded by, you, me, everybody, constantly, they're made up of these subatomic particles, specifically, of course, the neutrinos that are bombarding everybody. So that neutrino star product, Ra would call them, yes, the breath of stars, but they are literally shooting out of all stars all the time. So if we think about our body graph, here we have the image of a body graph with some open places or spaces. Wherever there are openings, we are sensitive to amplifying, right? Any place that's open, there is this amplification, potential for distortion. Now, to be clear, Ra was not told by the voice to use the stars as imprinting fields. But if there is a planet there, if there is a planet inside of your body graph, your natal design, then that star field is part of the imprint, wherever the star is behind that planet. It's part of the additional energetic, you could say. So it is something that you can study. It's just not something that Ra was told to do, okay? Just to be clear. So it's up to you how far you want to take this. human design being so incredibly magical, we know that this neutrino ocean is built upon a data stream. These data streams sourced into the heavens, Ra would call the neutrino beam stream entering into the crystal of consciousness. So think of a beam stream, a stream of cosmic consciousness going through you into not just the crystals of consciousness, the primary crystals of consciousness, but remember, every single cell in your body has a crystal. So there's no consciousness without these stars, without the neutrinos that breathe these energetics of their star field into us. They are consciousness. Neutrinos are consciousness. But he makes, again, the distinction between being the source of consciousness, the stars. For him, cosmic consciousness is not awareness. Cosmic consciousness, okay, all of those stars out there, for him, it was not aware. It was you and me, we who are form, yeah, consciousness embodied in form, these crystals inside of our form, filtering through the entirety of that cosmic ocean and then filtering it through our own awareness. So consciousness and awareness in homogenized terms, they're usually bandied about as the same thing. In human design, again, to be clear, consciousness for Ra was not awareness. We make the data stream aware by filtering through it. Now, we are only going to filter through dependent on our genetic blueprint, our imprint, the binary of the design and the personality. Now, you get hit by a car. You have a brain injury. You are not going to filter the consciousness data stream in the same way if you have a brain injury, if your mind is clouded by pain, if you are obsessed with whatever you want to gain. I mean, awareness has to do with the state of your consciousness. It has to do with the frequency to which you are vibrating. Each one of us has an original frequency, the original binary, the imprint, and none of us are at that exact same moment ever again in our entire life. So you see, awareness is what happens when you filter consciousness. We who are, see, embodied, self-aware, remember the ajna conceptualization process is the process of self-awareness. So the byproduct of filtering that data stream, the neutrino ocean, is the illusion of our own particular consciousness, as in us being separate from the totality of existence, thinking that we are such. You know, the mind in its binary, its dualistic construct, it's conscious and unconscious, plus that third thing of mental awareness or not. Because see, you can have the not self moving through you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you are aware. When I say the not self moving through you, I mean the conditioning of whatever it is that's moving through you because of the, let's say, the people that you're with or the transit of the day. Okay? So nothing wrong here. No right, no wrong, no good, no bad. It simply is. And when we live in this place of deep serendipity, where the abundance of acceptance abounds, it is a very different experience than when you enter into the human design experiment and begin to make decisions that are correct for you. With awareness, this is the whole movie. It changes everything. It changes the game. And that data stream being interpreted differently by the plants and cells and insects and mammals and the inanimate objects, again, the design of forms, is what human design actually began as. But Ra gave it the label human design, nine-centered humans we are, because it was more practical. But if it's right for you, and you go into studying the inanimate or the plants or the cells or the insects or the mammals, oh, would I like to hear from you? Because you don't see a lot of people really deeply going into that. Oh, sure, maybe dream rave. But Ra put it out, and I have yet to see anybody expand upon this element or area of the knowledge. So just putting it out there, a call, if you will, about the neutrinos that imprint not just you and me, but everybody, everything. Because this consciousness, the data stream that's bombarding all of us, we see 70% from the sun. Yes. So the nucleus of our solar system. We see 3% again from Jupiter, just reviewing from last week to remind you of these numbers and to contemplate this deeply. Because as we work with the 27%, okay, the star field outside of our solar system, you're going to become aware of how vast this knowledge can go and how much more there is to what you know. So that 70% of the neutrino bombarding you and me is not the full story, as we know, 27%. The coexistence that we have with not only our solar destiny, because wouldn't you agree that we are inextricably linked, our little planet, to the direction that our sun is hurtling towards? Yeah, spiraling through space and time. We are captured in its gravitational pull. So we have no choice. There's no disagreement there. There is no choice. We are tethered to this star. Now, same thing too. We are moving, hurtling through space and time in relational dynamic to this cosmic consciousness out there, to which we are also subject to, helpless, choiceless to. There is no choice to change your fixed star. There isn't. It is what you get. The deep coexistence with the solar destiny or our solar system, that everything else is in alignment with the greater cosmic totality. So the neutrino stream that imprints us, our genetic blueprint, our cosmic destiny, this is why there is no choice. It is an illusion of choice. These neutrinos imprint us, whether we want them to or not. It is simply a game of awareness, the quality of awareness as you move through space and time. Ra's journey, he said, took him to a place of not just wonder, but a kind of deep respect. For these nodes, as an example, the phenomenal capability that they have for us to have a path, a kind of perceptual trajectory. So that's not a choice either. You are either seeing in alignment or your perspective is skewed. Even if you're operating in alignment, you can still get access to a binary, a deep binary. The personality has its aligned or misaligned, and not that there's anything good, bad, right, wrong. The binary of the Maya, the mechanics of the Maya, points to the perspective either being this or that. That again is not a choice, this or that. These nodes are significant in the way that they frame. Think of them like a frame or windows that we are attuned to. This phenomenal relative existence that the personality has with its view, where it is. Okay, the design is where you be as far as the path in this body's trajectory. Okay, the path, the place in space, the thing that the body gravitates to. Just like our sun, we gravitate to it helplessly, choicelessly. We are relentlessly bombarded by frequencies that attract us magnetically to these two polarities, either where we are or how we see along that path as we walk our trajectory in space, in this place. Nodes are directional. So if we see how this continuity, not just the sun-earth binary, okay, that's I. Think of it as I. Here, think of the nodes as we. who are part and parcel of this binary and seeing each other through our own chemistry and frequency. This beautiful, magnificent time-space reality, of which we have an extraordinary window into the sea of consciousness, not just the here and now to which we are locked into, this body, but our past, see the nodes past, and the future, see the nodes future, okay, past, south node, north, future, okay, future, north node. Remember that, because this continuity that binds us to a movement is locked into in the frame of these nodes. We are locked into our nodes, basically. So it's a really cool thing to see. What is it that you see in this frequency, in this reality? Through these nodes, these wonderful windows are portals into the sky, not only into the past, but also into the future, our future. This is the most important information that we receive stellarly, and we can map it graphically, not only out in the sky, but also in our body, in our DNA, in our genetics. Isn't that cool? So many people interpret stars. I mean, it's no new thing. It's actually one of the things that we can pull into. Of course, we have our Bernadette Brady's book on fixed stars. If that's something that's interesting to you, you can research on the internet. Don't have to buy a book. Tons of websites. When we look into the history, different cultures have different stories. So it's up to you to go and do some of the research, although Ra's given us some of the stars that he's researched and will give to us. But for you in this course, going through your own natal blueprint, if it's right for you to see, what planets do you have conjunct with any of these stars? Any of these stars. It's up to you to see. Okay, looking at the mapping or your relative relationship. Not only, let's say, your sun or earth or nodes, but every single planet that you have, if it's right for you to do. Again, as far as the alignment to information, it's not that Ra taught it or that the voice told Ra to teach it. This is the nodes that are much more interesting to him. It's the alignment of information. Yeah, because nodes are our alignment to a place. Sorry, that was weird. The accent shifted. Let me see if I can calm a bit. Energy. Okay, so most of the information we receive from the stars is how we truly receive the cosmic consciousness data stream. It isn't that we have, something that is very specifically pulling on you, me, everybody, other than this node here, the north node. Remember, our fixed star, the most important thing to research into, according to Ra. Okay? Remember, we are a programmable entity. In this cosmic reality, we have an awareness, conscious awareness, and unconscious design, and our magnetic monopole that holds us together in this illusion of separation until it lets go, and then everything deconstructs and we are off to enjoy a different show. So specific receptors, all of us, we have receptors individually. Our receptivity is unique and different depending on our imprint, right? Our binary of self and quote unquote not self, or the definition and activations, or the places that are open. Now, when we look at the great influence of our stars, particularly on the design side, we know that's the north node, that we have our fixed star, our guiding star. Yeah. The north node establishes the future direction, the right direction as we head in towards the future. The south node is the past, literally karmically, this genetic binary, this blueprint. So this influence of the stars in our life is that something only we can recognize through our own consciousness, because, you know, you and me, we live in different bodies. I cannot ever know what it's like to live in your body. So you are the one who is literally going to feel the pull that establishes you on your path, your physical trajectory, in the right direction, in the movement of this vehicle towards an individual object. And that is your fixed star. Remember, the North Node, your fixed star. Our design nodes establish the right direction for the vehicle, not a choice. Your conscious mind does not have a choice here. It is your body, and the body is the life. So these design nodes being in an undefined center, again, points to the relative direction being inconsistent, right? Because the definition is not there. So the framing, it's kind of like if you're, so funny. Side note, my glasses, I had 2 pairs of glasses, and in this last month, my dog chewed up one and I've lost the other. I don't know if he chewed up the other one too, but so those are my distance glasses. I've been wearing my up close glasses, which at least let me see the computer, even though I'm a little bit far. It's a bit blurry. I can squint, I can still see. Okay. So let's imagine that you are walking down a path. When I was a kid, I didn't have glasses in like 6th or 7th grade, and I wouldn't look at anybody and I couldn't see anything. I had thick Coke bottle glasses. I wouldn't look at anybody because I didn't want to see. I was trying to like squint or see if they were seeing me, and if I couldn't recognize them because I couldn't see them. So I would just look straight ahead, not look at anybody. And I got a not attitude. People thought I was stuck up because I wouldn't look at anybody. But it was because I couldn't afford glasses as a kid. Okay, that's how freaking poor we were. Okay, no glasses, couldn't see. Now imagine you're LaVeena, you're walking down a hallway, you're not looking, but then all of a sudden, boom, you've got contacts. You can see. And then, oh, they're gone. Oh, but then you can see. Oh, but then they're gone. That's what it's like for me going through this life with no definition in the design and personality nodes too. I don't know if I can separate that, but just to give you a perspective or an experiential process of what it's like to have undefined nodes, as in they're in undefined centers. Okay, so yet there is still this guiding light, you could say, very distant light because it's a star, you know, not so bright, not like the sun, but it's your North Node. For me, the gate 28, game player, risk taker. Okay, get familiar with your unconscious design node in this course. Start looking at it. Is it possible to understand what the unique imprint of a star is? Is it? Can you? Or are we always going to have the subjective view? Because look, you have a relationship with the stellar background frequency. You do. You just may not be aware of it because you have not yet studied it. And yet the more that you study, the more that you become aware. What is it that the cosmic consciousness is programming you with that you may now be opening up the door to? You may now be given the keys because you're interested. So it's coming across your feed. Yeah, not just your computer social media feed, but actually your interest. Something draws you to start studying, to start researching, to start investigating. I'm speaking in the language of today. What's most supportive for you, you know, as far as your part in the greater totality, not just your little community, but the greater holistic viewpoint of the totality of all that is, the isness, or I would say itness, the itness of being. Is it possible? Can you? There are so many stars. Is it possible to understand what this unique imprint is of one star? Ra says, I looked at that very carefully. I could see theoretically certain ways in which one possibly, and I'll show you because I'll take you through some of these perspectives, to be able to look back far enough to see perhaps the ingredients that could define a unique, recognizable imprint. According to Ra, he said, no, it's not possible. Now, for you, maybe you have something of a different view. But to him, it's not possible because the stars that we love so much are like, you could call them poster children. If we think about the stellar background frequency, this unbelievable density, you know, he would call the density of the stellar background field a density. He would also call us densities. And if you think about it, we have our own constellations, don't we? Of physicality, not only of our own cells that are self, but if you think about it, the gut biome, microbiome, there's a whole huge density of not self, as in those aren't human cells in there. We have parasites, we have all kinds of, you know, gut bacteria, we have all kinds of things in there. It's unbelievable how dense we are inside as well as outside. Look out there, which is also a reflection of what is inside because of the imprinting, because of the connectivity field that we have to the outside stellar matrix. You look up at the sky, even in a cloudy environment, you know, if you can at least see through those clouds and see into that little portal in space into the sky, you can see the matrix. If we could see it actually quite clearly without our cities and our moon and our solar, you know, cell, we would just be looking at a field of light. Isn't that fascinating? It's incredibly dense up there, the stellar background field. We would just see light because light is there. This plentitude of light, this density of the biverse, the illusion of we who are a part of the vastness, the sea, everything that we have the capability of filtering, it's moving through you, me, everybody all the time, and it's going back out through us and programming beyond us. So just like remember in the beginning of your human design training, you have the red car that smashes into the white car, you know, they graze each other, even just grazing each other, and a little bit of paint gets on each of the cars. So a little bit of what paints us, as in our genetic blueprinting, the neutrino goes through us. It's taking information from out there into us and then taking a little bit of us out back into the stellar programming field. So we are part of the density, and it is part of our destiny too. Personal, transpersonal, what have you.